This exclusive mini-series from the Change Officer podcast is brought to you in partnership with Microsoft Reactor. Stay tuned to find out how Microsoft Reactor can help you build your tech skills and connect you with developers and startups that share your goals.
I don't think AI will take over anything. I think AI will improve efficiency, it will increase productivity, and it will help humans to focus on things that really matters. I believe today AI reached a stage where it could automate or replace 20 to 30% of processes that is used to be managed by humans, and that's it. Anyone who can promise you over than that, they are just lying. The technology is more accessible for anyone. So it's just a matter of having the right data on your side and having enough resources to experiment.
Welcome to the Change Officer podcast's Future of Technology mini-series brought to you by Microsoft Reactor. In this 4-part special edition of the show, we are delving into the latest technology that is shaping the future at an increasingly rapid pace. Join us as we speak to 4 remarkable industry experts and unpack the topics of big data analytics, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the metaverse, getting to the bottom of how these technological advancements will affect us, our businesses, and the world at large. It could be argued that most of our opinions about artificial intelligence are shaped by its cinematic depictions. But how does this futuristic technology actually work? And what are the real-world use cases for it that will make a difference in the way we work and live? To answer these questions, we spoke to Sari Hweitat. Sari is the CEO and co-founder of Xina, the world's first Arabic interactive voice assistant and chatbot. Xina uses artificial intelligence to automate customer care functions and allow businesses to free up their employees from repetitive tasks. If you want to be a part of the next big thing, this episode is a must-watch as it digs into why the AI space is one you should carefully consider. Sari debunked some commonly held beliefs about AI, broke down some of the previously unsolvable problems that this technology is taking on, and finally dove into the unique challenges of starting a business in this field. Enjoy. Welcome to the Change Officer, Sari.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for flying in from Jordan to take this episode with me.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really flattered to be invited to the Change Officer.
It's not true that he flew in from Jordan just for the episode, but I like to think so.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm super excited about this conversation as a part of the Future of Technology series that we are working on. Today's topic, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence as a topic has been around for a while now, a lot longer than many think or believe, or a lot longer since it became popular as a term. Now, although it's been around for a while, there is a lot of ambiguity, I'm sure, around it in the market, in the globe, even with people who are holding titles of artificial intelligence ambassadors and engineers, etc., etc. So I like to ask the question for such topics. I like to ask the question of, how do you describe artificial intelligence to everyone? Because every time I ask the question, I get a different answer. So I'm curious to hear from you when you're explaining to your little cousin, what is artificial intelligence? What do you say?
I would say it's statistics, but with much more data and a huge computational power.
All right.
That's artificial intelligence in a very simple word.
That's a very interesting take on that. But at the same time, there's a lot of commonly held beliefs out there about artificial intelligence. But what are some of them that you passionately disagree with, that people believe, but you're like, no, that's not it?
AI will take over the world.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with that. I don't think AI will take over anything. I think AI will improve efficiency. It will increase productivity, and it will help humans to focus on things that really matters.
Yeah. I think it's the way how AI was introduced as well, and maybe because of the term artificial intelligence, that we watched way too many movies where artificial intelligence was presented in a robotic way.
Terminator.
taking over the world. Is artificial intelligence capable of replacing every single human process?
As of today, I don't think so. I believe today AI reached a stage where it could, let's say, automate or replace 20 to 30% of processes that is used to be managed by humans. And that's it. Anyone who can promise you over than that, they are just lying. There is a very long way for us to reach a level where AI could replace 80% or 70% of activities that is managed by humans.
Is that because of the technological advancement or something else?
Definitely, it goes back to the technology advancement, and AI advanced really, really well in the past 5 years. But still, as of today, even the big players in this space, they can't promise you heaven. They can't promise you that we can replace, for example, your call center agents, or we can replace your receptionist or whatsoever. AI has limits. As of today, it has limits. And these limits, the reason for these limits are the technology advancement. Once we saw that GPU's market advanced very well, we started seeing more advanced use cases for AI. But if you take it back to the 90s, for example, what was AI? Nothing.
Yeah.
So it's really tied with what we are innovating in the hardware space, because if we innovate in that part, then we have more computational power. And if we have more computational power, then we will have a stronger algorithms. And if we have stronger algorithms, then we can introduce new use cases, and then we can introduce new capabilities for AI. So if there is no innovation in that space, I don't think we will see any advancement in the use cases of AI anytime soon.
So artificial intelligence is or the output of artificial intelligence is the result of combination of couple of elements, as I understand. Data, and data being collected, data being analyzed. But to analyze increasing amounts of data, you need
computational power.
You need computational power, and that's where possibly something like quantum computing is stepping in, I would assume. And then by analyzing these huge amounts of data, making some sort of decisions or predictions for certain action or
patterns,
or the future.
Trends, and then you can take action based on that. But data is another issue that we have today because of now. Definitely, there's the restrictions on using data. This will limit the capabilities of AI. I'm not saying that it should be allowed to use the user's data or anything, but what I'm saying is we need to be reasonable about, and people, they need to be aware of how they are giving up their data and what is being used for. We don't need to be closed on that. We don't need to restrict data collection. We just need to govern it. We just need to raise awareness for the users on what data are we collecting, how we are using this data, and for what exactly. And if we can incentivize them by, if they can monetize their data, that would be a cherry on the top.
Yeah, that's a completely new, possibly business model as well for some new companies. Talking about like just trying to bring closer in practical terms this whole topic to myself first of all, and then to the audience. You know, it's always a good excuse. You know, let's explain to the audience. Whereas actually I don't understand. Some of the most advanced examples or use cases of AI today, what would those be? Where AI is solving major challenge that couldn't be solved before?
Well, it depends on the industry, because every industry will tell you that this is the ultimate use case for AI as of today. But I will speak for my industry or where I'm coming from at Xina. I believe voice assistance is the most advanced use case of AI as of today, because it combines a lot of or different AI models within the same product. So you are talking about speech recognition, NLP, voice cloning. There's a lot in the back office when it comes to voice assistant. So I believe it is the most advanced use case of AI as of today.
Sure. So this is a good segue to the topic of Xina, and obviously one of the reasons you are here is the fact you're running a startup, Xina AI, which is the world's first voice
assistant that could speak and understand the local dialects of MENA region.
Which is a lot more interesting than it sounds at the first sight. For anyone coming from the industry would understand, but although there are voice recognition systems out there for Arabic, there's so many different dialects of Arabic, and for a system to recognize every dialect, it takes a lot of data, I would assume.
A lot of data that is not there.
That is not even collected at the moment.
Yeah.
So introduce us to Xina, first of all, and then we'll talk about more about practical use cases of AI and then what you faced so far and what anyone who is trying to build something with AI will face in the future.
Yeah. Well, as I said, Xina is a voice system that could speak and understand the local dialects of MENA region. We saw there's a gap in this market because the big players are only focusing on the Arabic standard, which we read in the newspaper or we hear in the news, and that's it. But Arabic language is very complicated and it has many different variations. So within the same country, you will find many dialects of the same dialect. So dialect, Arabic language dialects, subdialects, etc. And I said, this is a very good gap in the market. If we can tackle this issue, if we can solve it, the opportunities are huge. There's around 420 million Arabic speakers in the Middle East. There's around 270 million people in the world. They consider Arabic as their second language.
So that's a total of almost 700 million people in the world.
Exactly. That's a huge market. So if you can develop something for those people, a voice system, they could speak to it and they can understand it in their local dialects, then we can introduce a lot of use cases for such technology. You will see smart home products will penetrate the market faster. You will see a voice assistant within your vehicle. You will see a lot of use cases if we can localize this technology for MENA region, for the Arabic speaking consumer. So that was the main driver behind the idea of Xina. Besides that, I'm a big fan of Iron Man, as I told you before, and I always wanted to build my own Jarvis, my own voice assistant. But instead of having my own Jarvis, I decided let's take another approach. Let's build something for businesses, not for the end consumer. So it's a B2B2C model. And if we want to monetize, because at first when we thought it should be a B2C product that you can use it on your smartphone, nobody is paying for Siri, for example.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that comes almost as an added value to what you have.
So the only way to monetize such technology is to make it a B2B product. We sell it to businesses, to enterprises, so they can automate their customer service, customer engagement, interactions, etc. And then they can offer it free of charge, of course, for their end consumer. So that was the business model that I wanted to build. And of course,
was the did AI came as a following step, as a possible solution to the problem, or you were looking to solve a problem with AI in the first place? How did you came across AI as being the technology?
AI is the only solution
for something like this.
It's
almost impossible to solve it any other way.
Exactly. There is no way you can solve it other way, because now how does Xina works? Xina has three main AI technologies embedded with it. So the first one is the speech recognition. So when you speak to her, she needs to transcribe your spoken words into text, because machine doesn't understand only text.
How did you decide it's going to be her?
Again?
How did you decide it's going to be her, not him?
Well, that's a very good question, actually. Well, the main reason, as I said, it was in the beginning, it was Jarvis, so it was a male.
All right.
Then the name came Xina. Xina stands for Extremely Intelligent Natural Language Assistant, and Xina is a female name, so
Okay.
that's why.
All right, this was a good answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good diplomatic answer.
Yeah.
All right, please carry on.
And so when you speak to Xina, Xina needs to hear you by saying that we need to transcribe your spoken words into text, and then we feed the NLP engine with that text. The NLP engine will understand your intent and will generate a response. The response will go into another engine, which is the text to speech. Now we need to convert that text into spoken language. So all of that happens in milliseconds.
Mhm.
So you are talking about 3 different AI technologies embedded with the same solution, just to produce a spoken words.
Okay, everyone, we'll get back to the conversation in a minute, but I wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to the sponsor of this exclusive mini-series, Microsoft Reactor. If you tuned in for this episode, you're most likely coder, developer, or a data scientist. You probably also believe that upskilling yourself and staying connected with passionate, like-minded people in your industry is important. If that's true, you should definitely check out Microsoft Reactor's creative Tech Minds community. When you become a part of Reactor's community, you get access to their free educational videos and self-paced learning paths, in-person presentations, workshops, and local Meta groups. These allow you to network with potential mentors, build your tech skills, and connect with fellow coders, cloud developers, AI enthusiasts, and data scientists. If this sounds like something you need, you can find the link to Microsoft Reactor's website in the show notes of this episode. I truly believe this can be super beneficial for your career path or your business, so I encourage you to do so. Now, enjoy the rest of this show.
Are these kind of technologies something that companies like yours build in-house, or you leverage on some existing technologies?
Well, the existing engines in the market, as I said, they don't cover the dialects of the Arabic language. So we had to develop our own engines. And this is why we decided to build our own speech recognition engine, our own text-to-speech engine. And even when we gave her the voice, we had to develop our own voice cloning algorithm. So now if you give me 10 recorded hours, for example, of your voice, we can clone it. We can make the machine speak in your voice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And building a company that is based on AI technology comes with all sorts of or set of challenges that are not there if you are building a company that is more process oriented, or a SaaS solution that is leveraging standard set of technologies is more process oriented. What are sort of the challenges that you faced when you started building a business in this space?
To find believers, that was the first challenge.
All right.
Yeah, to find believers, and I believe I was lucky enough to find those believers very early on. They are my co-founders, Abe Siksik, Ramiz Khalis, and Zaina Majali. When I first met them and we started discussing the idea that I had, I found that they have been managing a PPO business for the past 16 years. Mainly they are focusing on contact center solutions and customer service. And they have tons of data, tons. But no one was there to utilize this amount of data into a product that could be monetized and could be a solution for a huge problem. And when we started discussing the idea of Xina and what we are going to do with it, I found that I have believers on my side, and they are willing to give me all the support that I need to build this product. And within a couple of weeks, we hit the road running.
Wow. And other than people that are required for you to get on an endeavor like this, when you got into a space of engineering, what did you face there? How difficult was it to build your first version?
To be honest, we didn't really have any idea about the tech stack that we are going to use. It was a trial and error. But we understood the mission, we understood the vision, and we knew what we want to build, and we started our R&D. The first year we were under radar. We didn't even have a Facebook page, for example. I didn't want that. I just wanted to prove that we can actually build the product. After we prove that, then we can start marketing, reaching out to investors and everything. So at the first stage, as I said, it was a pure R&D efforts, trying to see what is out there, what is in the market, to benchmark with them. And then we realized, okay, so we need to have this and that. All right, so how to develop that? Start your research, read white papers, read papers, go to other players and investigate what they have done and everything. And then we realized that the aha moment when we saw the whole architecture of the solution and what we need to build. Once you understand what you need to build, you will figure it out. But if you don't have any idea about it in the first place, then...
What would you say was your biggest learning of that first exploratory R&D phase?
It was a hit in the face. I understood that the challenge is really, really big. You need tons of data. You need brilliant engineers on your side just to develop this product. The speech recognition especially, it's the most difficult thing to develop in AI. Because there's a lot of factors coming in for the understanding of the machine. So, for example, you might develop a speech recognition engine that could understand and a high quality voices, but if the voice in a low quality, then it wouldn't understand. So you need to optimize, and then you will find some bias. So you will realize that the speech recognition engine is understanding male voices, but it doesn't understand female. So you need to feed it with more female voices. That optimization, that was the biggest challenge for us.
Well, interesting. You mentioned data and the amount of data being an issue. That issue is being kind of sort of slowly solved, I guess, but I assume we're not even close to having it solved completely.
Yeah, it's not solved completely.
How do you collect data, and where are all the touch points where you collect the data so that you can actually analyze and how important is the data collection piece of the whole system?
Well, as of today, as I said, I partner up with a call center, so they have tons of data, but it's in a raw condition, so you need to process that data before you feed it to your engine, and that's a very long process, very costly. The labeling, the cleaning, the chunking, etc. That's the most expensive part of developing an AI model. You can develop the AI model within a couple of months, and you can train it within a month, and you can test the result. But preparing the data to train the AI model, that's the most expensive, the longest, and the most painful process of building an AI product.
So, for anyone out there who is looking to get into this space, whether on the corporate side or on the entrepreneurial side, what would you say would be step number 1, step number 2, and step number 3 in building such a product?
Well, the first step for the corporates, I would say, to prepare the mindset of their stakeholders. They need to be patient. They need to understand that they are shooting for the long term. In the early stages, the first couple of months, let's say, they should not expect anything from AI, because, as I said, it's a trial and error, and then you optimize based on your findings, based on the results. And I believe it's the number one reason why many AI projects within corporates are failing today, because they are expecting an immediate result. That's not the case with AI, not at all. For startups, first of all, once you define a problem that you want to solve with AI, make sure that you have enough data. That's number one. Number two, find believers, angel investors, but a believer angel investor who understand that AI is not, it's not like that. Once you have a clear definition of the problem that you want to solve, then you can really understand if AI can solve it or not, because not everything can be solvable with AI. That's not the case. So I think this is the main thing with the challenges. And today, I believe people and corporates are becoming more aware of. It's not like developing a mobile app for food ordering or for ride sharing or something like that. It's an R&D in the first place, and then you can productize it. But at first, you need to invest in your people. You need to give them that mental safety that it's okay if we fail, as long as we are learning and we are optimizing and we are getting better day in, day out.
Sure. Well, I mean, from what you're saying, this sounds like, any major success is at the end of a very difficult path and the journey. And the more difficult the path and the journey is, the fewer will reach to the end. But those who
and
reach,
the bigger the reward.
The bigger the reward will be. So would you say that we are still at the early stage of AI, and that still the ones who are exploring with this technology and this whole area are early adopters that are in for a big reward if they solve the problem?
No, I totally agree. I think we are still in the very early stages. However, the difference between what is happening now and what was happening 20 years ago, that 20 years ago, you might see an AI product and they are showcasing the product in exhibitions, conferences, etc. But it's not in the market because they are still in the very early stages of R&D. But now it's becoming cheaper than before, and the technology is more accessible for anyone. So it's just a matter of having the right data on your side and having enough resources to experiment.
Sure. Yeah.
But 20 years ago, that was
not possible. Yeah. Where do you believe we will be in 10 years?
10 years from now, I believe we will see AI integrated within many products that we already use today, especially in the NLP part, because there's a huge advancement is happening in natural language processing now. Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, everyone is racing to innovate in that space in particular. We will start engaging more with chatbots. We will start engaging more with voice assistant. We will start engaging with, if in the retail industry, we will see the self-serving kiosks, and you can interact with it in a very contextual conversation.
So are we going to reach finally that stage when we talk to the chatbot, we don't actually realize it's a chatbot?
Well, it's already happening in some use cases. It's already happening in some use cases. But we are not that, and when we imagine it, how we are speaking to a chatbot or a voice assistant, we imagine a very natural conversation. That's still not the case. But if we take a very specific use case and we focus on that use case, then we can definitely, this is today, this is not 10 years from now, then you can definitely have a very natural conversation with the chatbot. But if you want to have a chatbot that speaks everything and understands everything, definitely you don't have that much of data to train it on it. So you will have that impression I'm speaking to a robot.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you speak to a human, you feel speak to a robot as well. So
Exactly.
All right. So what I'm curious about, and this is the question that everyone gets, so you're not going to escape it. And I think it's very valuable for everyone just to get your opinion on it. The change officer, as the whole show, is answering the question of what's the change ahead. If we can understand that change, there is a lot of things we can do about it now. What do you think in this area of AI is the change that will happen in the medium-term future or short-term future that will unlock some major new opportunities? Or what would be the area, the next area that you would look at when it comes to AI that is worth investing time in that can bring you to that big reward?
Good question. Now everybody is talking about the metaverse.
All right.
But the metaverse, it's as it is described, it's a new world with new possibilities, and you can have anything, you can develop anything for the metaverse. But in order to have that, to unleash that big ambition, you need to integrate a lot of technologies within the same space, so you can come up with to reach that potential of the metaverse. And I believe the AI will play a huge role in that space in the metaverse, because if you want to start producing, for example, avatars, characters, everything, you want to give them voice, you want to give them personality, you want to give them a look, a feeling, emotions, everything. And this is only possible with AI.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I think this is a good way to end this episode, and it will, I'm sure, leave many listeners thinking about, how AI can be the next big thing, and how they can leverage AI to solve some of the problems they are looking at. If they want to reach out to Mr. Sari, what would be the best way to do that?
LinkedIn. Yeah.
All right.
LinkedIn.
So make sure to reach out to Sari. He'll be happy to share his experience with you.
Definitely.
And stay tuned. There is another great episode coming out really soon. Thank you for staying until the end, and take care. Sari, thanks a lot for taking the time. And I hope to see Xina taking over the
metaverse.
The metaverse.
Thank you so much.
Take care.